3 rounds of discussion with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from a Zoom call in Columbia, South Carolina, Matthew, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. And his opponent from a Zoom call in Atlanta, Georgia, Daniel, aka the Executioner. Take it away, Matthew.
Thank you, Jesse, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 50 of At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit.
And the Executioner, Daniel Travas.
Goddamn, 50 episodes. We've been doing this for 50 weeks without a break, except for that one time I forgot to upload an episode and we posted it like a day before we recorded the next one.
Whatever. All right. You know the drill. Topic number 1.
This one is a no-brainer. Bray Wyatt is the White Rabbit.
The White Wars, should we say the White Rabbit reveal.
Yeah.
Number 2.
A 1 week long, or like 1 episode long Tuesday Night War.
Yep. Number 3.
And this past Saturday was Extreme Rules.
It's the
and
results.
We got predictions. And we got the results for the prediction battle.
Let's jump into topic number 1.
Yep, and that's me. All right, so Bray Wyatt returned to Extreme Rules, and it turns out, yowie wowie, he's the White Rabbit.
My honest thoughts on this whole White Rabbit character is this shit is going to be honestly very intriguing, and because I'm not sure if the Fiend is dead according to Bray Wyatt's new character.
I would assume he is.
Because I would assume that it is as well, but with Bray Wyatt coming back,
you never know.
Yeah, you never really know, because my honest thoughts on him, because at Extreme Rules, we saw his Firefly Funhouse characters were dressed up were people. And
yeah, people were dressed up as Huskus the Pig, Mercy the
Buzzard,
Ramblin' Rabbit, Abby the Witch, and the Fiend even.
Yeah, even the Fiend, which, because I will say is that this, but anyways, that I believe is that Bray Wyatt is, no matter what he does, and since he has a whore rider that is a part that's going to be worth, it is going to be intriguing on what they do with this character, but it's just, to me, the only problem I have with Wyatt's characters is he builds them up sometimes as too strong because, anytime they put a title on him, you got to make the character lose.
Yeah, and that loss against Goldberg is sort of what killed the Fiend when you think about it.
Yeah, you got the timer right.
And yes, I know. I just started it. I forgot. I realized it while you were talking.
All right, but because my honest thoughts is with this just being like I'm not honestly with the White Rabbit seems to be like an unleashed to me, because when I saw that Bray Wyatt returned at Extreme Rules and he started to sing the whole world in his hands, I honestly thought I'm like, so is that going to be his theme song? Like, what the hell's what's up with that? Because I thought when with the past couple of weeks leading up to Extreme Rules, I thought that they would have, the White Rabbit song play as all this stuff would be happening. Like, make it much more creepier or something.
Yeah, and I just want to say the whole thing about like Bray singing he's got the whole world in his hands. He put some bass in that voice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause what are your thoughts on this whole White
Um,
Rabbit character?
I was honestly like that whole show. We'd only gotten like what one maybe like one hint on the kickoff show. Bray they played that like he's debuting tonight and all that shit. And then the entire show, we didn't get one mention of the White Rabbit until after the main event, which we'll go into more detail about the show later.
Yeah.
Um, and the lights went out. Apparently, and according to like Ringside News, we never reported this, but Extreme Rules ticket sales went up after it was revealed the White Rabbit would be debuting at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, cause I will say with the whole White Rabbit character, my honest thoughts are, and this is something I've also heard. I've heard Bray Wyatt also teasing going after the Universal title.
Yeah, but
Which,
like the lights go out, they start showing the Firefly Funhouse people, and then the Fiend's burnt mask, and then the Fiend, and Bray literally comes out of like this. It looks like a cabin or something.
yeah.
Takes off his mask. The crowd is losing their minds by this point. Yeah, they were losing it when it all started, actually.
Yeah, because, okay, so where does Bray Wyatt go from here? What would you like to see Bray Wyatt do this time?
It's funny you mentioned that. I saw in recent news that apparently
Uh-huh.
he is going to be a part of the SmackDown brand.
Yeah, I really honestly don't really see there's a difference between, because I really don't really see the difference between the Raw or SmackDown, even the brand split, because like you said, like we said in the past, the people from Raw show up on SmackDown. Is there really a brand split with one title?
Okay, that's actually fair considering they have unified tag team champions again.
Yes, but that is cool to see. Now, for me, No, I don't know if Drew McIntyre's feud with Karrion Kross is over or not.
I mean, I assume there would still be some bad beef considering Scarlet Pepper sprayed
Yeah,
Drew.
yeah,
But that's off topic. That has literally nothing to do with topic number one.
no, but my like a feud that I want to see is Cross versus Wyatt, or I would want to see Edge versus Wyatt in a rivalry, or or I would like to see McIntyre feud with Wyatt. I don't know, Riddle feud with Wyatt.
Yeah, like I legitimately thought during the show that Wyatt was gonna somehow get into the fight pit and cost Riddle, and then the rivalry with Rollins would be over, and Riddle would be like, "Bro, you cost me a match. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you."
Sort of thing.
Yeah, but no, he surprisingly waited until after the match to debut, leaning closer to the camera, said, "I'm back," and blew out his lantern. Show ends.
Yeah, well, I will say is with White Rabbit, with Bray Wyatt being back, like I will say is that I think people might want to start to pay more attention to the background, because I don't think since Bray Wyatt has returned, I don't think those QR codes are gonna stop. I think there's just gonna be more of them.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he's supposed to appear on SmackDown tomorrow as of this recording.
Yes.
So who knows what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now,
In the words of many commentators, anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling.
my final thoughts on this before we move on to segment number 2 is I am personally I'm very glad that Bray Wyatt is back in the WWE, but I just hope that with his return to the WWE, I hope that they just don't ruin anything he does.
Yeah, and the
They just
timer
let Bray Wyatt just do his own thing.
Yeah, give Bray creative control of his character.
Well, what I would suggest is work with, Triple H, the Horror Rider, and Bray all work together to create something amazing.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Bray Wyatt's brother, Bo Dallas, is rumored to be returning to WWE at any moment.
Yeah. I mean, hell, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson made their return.
Yeah, and that was out of nowhere.
Like, it was rumored, and then like, oh, rumored. Oh, okay. Surprise.
But yeah, that's a topic for another day. We'll be back right after this with topic 2.
Hello, everybody, and we are back with a topic and number 2, the One Night Tuesday Night War episode.
Yeah, so you have no clue what we're talking about probably if you don't watch weekly television.
Yes.
So AEW Dynamite will be airing a special episode
this
coming Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
The same time NXT. NXT has their new home show before Halloween Havoc is a pay-per-view next week.
Yeah, it's a premium live event for the first time this year, and we will be doing a prediction battle for that on episode 51.
Fuck. No. Yeah.
And I will say, I know we normally do like the results afterwards, but since the episode after that will be the 1 year anniversary, we're probably going to delay the prediction results by about a week.
Yeah, just so you know. But my thoughts on this is that is a bit interesting. Like, my honest thoughts on it, that is, I will say that, like, that should be, I guess, interesting to see, but at the same time, because like the only big thing that AEW has that episode is Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title. That's really it. And what do you think of this stuff?
What I think is that maybe there were some special circumstances that AEW had to air this on a Tuesday. I don't see why they couldn't just air it on a Thursday.
I mean, my best guess is probably has something to do with the Major League layoffs.
Probably.
Just a thought.
And I'm going to take your word for it, considering your place of employment.
Yeah, fair enough. But also you could just look at, it's just probably, I mean, I'm just guessing. I really have no idea. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Hey, it's a good theory, man.
I will say is that my honest thoughts on this is well, it should be interesting with NXT doing their own doing a pay-per-view that they normally do a live event for. That they normally for the past 2 years normally have it be a TV special, it should be interesting with them actually doing this as a pay-per-view. And my honest question is it going forward, not going to go from a TV special to a actual pay-per-view?
I don't know. And you could ask the same about Blood and Guts, I feel like. Is that ever gonna be an actual pay-per-view for AEW, or is it just gonna remain a TV special?
That's fair. Cause alright, my honest thoughts on this is like, well, AEW is probably gonna have some banger matches because they always they always have good matches on weekly television, which is, I guess, a good thing. But it should be quite interesting to see what AEW puts up other than just an AEW World Title match.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
My thoughts are, if they want to compete with a go-home show to a WWE premium live event, their card needs to be stacked. And I know our podcast normally it started off sort of shitting on WWE. I feel like it shifted to shitting on AEW because they've stolen a majority of stars from WWE, and that doesn't really draw a crowd.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I hope with AEW going on Tuesday, I mean, I don't really agree is that, you know, maybe that AEW will have some stacked matches, and hell, maybe they could add it with having Nyla Rose challenge Jade Cargill, because I think that might be the only actual challenge to Jade Cargill's TBS title.
Yeah, I know I'll be setting my DVR and watching NXT live, but I'll definitely watch Dynamite afterwards. It'll probably take me till midnight to finish it because I'm terrible when it comes to fast forwarding through commercials.
Yeah, alright, how long we got on this timer?
20 seconds.
Gotcha. Alright, final thoughts on this is, I believe is that I hope NXT, I know, NXT normally has a good match, I hope NXT, has a good show to set up stuff for their pay-per-views, and I hope that whatever AEW decides to do for Tuesday night, the one night Tuesday night Dynamite, is that maybe they'll actually have a show that'll actually give it them other than a world title match.
Yeah, but we'll be back with the results of the prediction battle right after this. And we are back with the results of the Extreme Rules prediction battle. We touched a little bit of what happened on the show earlier, but it was in reference to Bray Wyatt, not the actual match card.
Okay, Matthew, this is your segment. Take it away.
Yeah, we're going to go in order that we predicted because that's how I have it listed, and I don't want to try to remember the actual order of the show.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
The first match we predicted was the Extreme Rules match between Liv Morgan and Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Solid match.
Yeah, really solid. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But in the end, Liv did not tap out. She passed out with a smile on her face, giving Ronda the victory. So it's up one by Travis.
Yeah.
The second match was the strap match Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross.
Uh-huh.
And I did mention earlier sort of how this match ended. Scarlett was sort of the defining factor of Karrion Kross's victory by literally pepper spraying Drew McIntyre. Then the cross jacket, Drew submitted, up two by Travis.
Yeah, because I will say is I will say McIntyre's Cross's decision to jump McIntyre before the match was honestly kind of a brilliant move on his
Yeah. It's a classic heel tactic. You'll see pre-match assault on the WWE sends for this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Anyways, the third match we predicted was the Raw Women's Championship ladder match. For the first time ever, women in a ladder match.
Yep.
And
Meh.
I think it was a good contest. And I'm not being biased because who I predicted to win won.
Honestly, it was a solid. Like, it wasn't the best match of the night, but it was solid.
Wasn't the best match, but it wasn't the worst. But in the end, Bianca won, and that gives me my first point.
Although we did talk about this, is that it is kind of strange how Bailey pinned her at Clash at the Castle and chose a ladder match.
Yeah, that was dumb on Bailey's part. But she was probably thinking that since it's Extreme Rules, they need to have a stipulation. And she forgot about Falls Count Anywhere, No Holds Barred, Extreme Rules,
Iron Man.
chairs, a bunch of different stuff she could have chosen.
Yeah. Next match.
Right, the next match that we predicted was the I Quit match between the Rated R Hall of Famer Edge and Finn Balor.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, for the first time ever, they're squaring off.
Good match.
It was a good match.
I honestly thought with how crazy this rivalry has been, I honestly thought that that there would be some busted open and a lot more violence from this match.
Yeah, something we should cover next week is the fact that that WWE will not be coming TV 14 under the Triple H regime.
Yeah, but solid match, and
when Edge's wife Beth was threatened with a concerto, he quit.
And they still did it anyway because they're heels.
Because heel gonna heel.
Yeah, but but also in that match, Dominic, like, this is something I want to talk about because it's a part of this match. You know, Dominic again, and also this happened this past Monday on Raw. Dominic put his hands on his father twice, but put his hands on his father twice and beat the shit out of him. But yeah, Ray doesn't do anything. Like I gotta be honest here. Well, Dominic, he's a really good heel. It kind of makes this rivalry kind of weak if Rey Mysterio doesn't put his hands on his kid, because because I know, he's trying to be like, oh, he's my son and all that shit, but it's like, bro, you're a professional wrestler. It's your job.
Yeah.
Fight me. Like, come on. What's next? He's gonna throw. Like, what is? Like, here's my question: what is Dominic Mysterio gonna have to do to get his father to fight him?
I have no idea.
But I will say about this match is it was a solid match, and I don't think that this is gonna be the end of this rivalry. But I could also see, continuing with a War Games match or with some sort of mixed tag team match, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like the next match at like Crown Jewel or whatever is gonna be Edge and Beth Phoenix versus either Dominic and Rhea Ripley or Finn and Rhea Ripley.
Or Damian Priest.
Yeah, or that. Basically, a male member of the Judgment Day teaming with Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
But anyways, on to the next match. The Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in
A good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which I was an idiot and didn't realize that I've seen that match. I was like, oh, that I've actually seen the first match live in person was the first ever one between Sheamus and Finn Balor. No, Sheamus and McIntyre. And that was the best match of the entire show.
Yeah, you were at the SmackDown, and I guess it wasn't very memorable for you, even though you just said it was the best match of the show.
Yeah, but I will say that match was probably the most brutal of the matches, I will say, for the card. I honestly thought Sheamus would have wanted to pin, after hitting Karrion Kross after hitting Gunther with the Celtic Cross through the table. I thought he would want to get revenge on him by pinning him.
Was it the Celtic Cross or White Noise?
Celtic Cross.
Okay. Why can't they just call it the High Cross? That's what it was originally called when Sheamus started using it.
Because I will say is I really hope that at Crown, because I'm gonna say this now. Well, these two matches have been bangers. They need Sheamus and Gunther, I think, to go one more time at Crown Jewel, and for God's sakes, people, Hunter, for God's sakes, guys, make it a stipulation match. I don't care what.
Here's my pitch for that match. At Crown Jewel, Sheamus versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title in a last man standing match.
Oh, fuck! Just the... Oh, fuck. Yes. Shut up and take my money. Just, God.
I mean, we'll be watching Crown Jewel either way.
But
might as well make this something interesting. I either do a standing match or an Iron Man match.
Oh, God. And
give them 45 minutes and let them go ham on a biscuit.
Yes, because I will say I will say these two probably, have the best rivalry. One of the best rivalries going on, but it's just
rivalry of 2022 for sure.
Yeah, I will say, but it's just I think the next time they encounter, I think Sheamus needs to win because, well, Sheamus needs to be the Grand Slam champion, eh?
Yeah, and what better place to do that than at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia?
In some sort of
yeah. But that is my second point on the board for this because oh wait, I just realized I messed up.
Oh no.
Imperium won, right?
No.
Oh, the Brawling Brutes did?
Yes.
Oh, thank God, I thought I messed up. I picked the Brawling Brutes, and they got the victory.
The next match.
The final match we predicted was the Fight Pit. The King of Bros, Matt Riddle, who was surprisingly serious for this match, versus the visionary Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, no, I will say is that match was a solid match. No, I'm honestly wondering.
If JR were calling it, he'd call it a slobber knocker.
Yeah, but I'm honestly wondering is that the end of their rivalry? I think so.
I don't think so, but I hope so. Because honestly, if you go through, 3 is a crowd, if you go to 4, you're just being annoying.
I mean, But now that Seth Rollins is the United States champion, it gives something to feud over.
True.
Good match.
I should have said fight pit with special guest referee
Daniel.
UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier, who for some reason they were stupidly abbreviating to DC.
Yeah, that was weird. Because I will say is that I had thought at some point through this match, I thought he was gonna I thought that and I will say Seth actually did. I thought Seth would with the devious man that he is. I thought that Seth would use a lot more underhanded tactics to try to win this match. Like if the only
Cormier bad side, no thank you.
Fair enough. But I mean, because I was like, the match was a solid. It was a good match. Like Seth did better than I thought he would, honestly.
Yeah.
And Matt Riddle won. And then
my third point on the board, might I add.
And then Bray Wyatt returned, and yeah, the show was over.
Admittedly, the main event of the show was undershadowed by the return of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
In fact, you could probably say that about any match on the card.
Yeah.
And did I say undershadowed? Sorry, I meant overshadowed.
Yeah, because that was Bray Wyatt's return got the pop of the night.
Yeah, because they had been teasing this for weeks.
Yeah. Alright,
Alright, so I'm afraid I got some bad news, people.
Coin flip.
We are tied and there was not a kickoff match.
God damn it.
Meaning, and I watched the entire kickoff show to make sure there was one, but there wasn't.
Shit.
Meaning, we have a coin flip. Now, I used my phone to set up the thing. So, literally during this recording, I went on the App Store on my iPad and downloaded a coin flip app.
Alright, cool.
Since Travis got the first point in our predictions, I will allow him to call heads or tails.
I call tails.
And remember, people, whoever loses this coin flip will have to watch a horror movie of the winner's choice, good or bad.
Alright.
And currently for coin flips, I am 0-1 for this podcast.
Oh no.
Make that 0-2 for this podcast. God damn it.
Yeah!
It landed on tails. Meaning Travis now has 4 and I have 3. Meaning I will have to watch a horror movie of his choice before Crown Jewel.
Yep.
So what it would be, Travis? What am I watching?
You are watching, and I'm making this decision on the spot, but you are going to be watching the movie called American Psycho.
I've actually heard of that, but never watched that movie.
Yeah, that is the movie you got to watch.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all 3 topics.
Well, goodbye. Roll the outro.
Yeah, we'll be back at you with episode 51, the penultimate episode for the unofficial season 1 next week. Roll that goddamn outro. Thank you for listening to Add-Ons, hosted by the Unbreakable Spirit
and the Executioner,
edited by the Unbreakable Spirit. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MTS_life_0126.
You can follow me on Instagram at DanTravis121, and you can also follow me on the Twitter at Dan the Executioner 21.
And you can follow the podcast at Odds Podcast. We'll be back next week with more debates and discussion. But until then, the Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at odds.
Thank you, losers.